I feel like I need to sit up. And this is too low. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Shay, aka Madam Sherman, aka Shayfierce. Sherman, that is me. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. If you are new here, welcome. And if you have been here before, welcome back. I'm sitting here having a debate with myself on whether or not I really want to do this video or not. So I'm just going to record it and we're going to see how it goes. So this is basically going to be a random rant about my life as a preacher's kid, or preacher's daughter, because I'm not a kid anymore. So let's get into it. Let's start from the beginning, when I was younger. So I was born into this lifestyle. So we didn't get to choose. My grandfather, my mother's father, was a pastor. And before I was born, my father was already a preacher in the ministry of the church that I was born into. You don't get a choice. You're born into it. And some people who have parents that have become ministers or pastors later in life, you may ease into it a little bit better. I didn't have a choice. When I was born, people knew who I was before I knew who they were. When you're young and you're a baby all the way up to, elementary school, it's cool. You get, to go out of town every time your father preaches at another church. You get to travel. You get to go to different places because he's going to be ministering at different places. So it's really exciting to say that I've been a lot of places as a young kid. I know a lot of people who are my age that have never been outside of my home city of Fort Worth. So just for me to tell them, like, I used to go to the Bayou Classics. I knew what a HBCU was at 5 years old because we were going to the Bayou Classic when I was that young, and we did it every year. So, like, I know people that have never done that, but I was afforded a lot of opportunities as a preacher's kid because, that was just what came with the territory. As you get older, about middle school to high school, you start, maybe you were popular. I don't feel like I was that popular, y'all. So maybe you were popular, you know what I'm saying? So you start my father, he had a lot of friends. Well, I think all his friends are pastors and ministers, all of them. So you get to meet the other kids, their children, and you develop some type of PK alliance community. So you grow up and you meet the other pastors' kids. It's really cool because you get to see them grow up and develop. And then you know that you're not alone. Because as a kid, I really felt that a lot of people thought that because me and my brother were preacher's kids, that we were better than them. And it just was not the case. Like, I was like, I wasn't called to the ministry. My dad was. So why am I having to live up to this expectation that I'm better than someone else? Like, I guess I don't understand why people thought we were better than them. Like, we weren't rich. We weren't rich. We were going to normal schools. I didn't understand that. But you know what? My mother always told me that when someone tells you that they think that you're better than them, it's because they think that you are better than them. And I'm like, that's not that's not my issue. That's the way you feel. It just don't make sense. I'm gonna be transparent. When I was like middle school, about middle school to high school, actually, it really wasn't a big deal in middle school. It didn't really become a big deal for me until I got to high school when I was allowed to date, and people would ask me what my father did. I was like, like you really want to know? Why was I so embarrassed to talk about my dad being a pastor? I have no idea. Like, I don't even want to say I was embarrassed. I just didn't want anyone to know. I didn't want anyone to walk around thinking we were you know how you watch the crazy movies of the people that are just really, really holy, that they become evil? Like, I didn't want anybody to think that about us. I wanted us to be normal. I'm very ashamed of myself that I was acting like that. Cause you know, there's no, if you're ashamed of something like that, to me, you're ashamed of, who you are. My father laid a foundation for us as a family, and he's, as the head of the household, he brought Jesus to us. He taught us about God. He taught us about spirituality. And a lot of friends that I know don't have fathers that were able to do that. One time when I was in college, this girl, I'm at church. It's a Sunday, having a good time. I think I just got through praise dancing, and someone was like, I saw you out at the club last night. And I was like, well, if you saw me at the club, that means you had to be there too. My dad, even though he is a pastor, he always told me he wanted me and my brother to be an individual. He wanted us to figure out life and experience life as our own. He didn't put us on any restrictions, we can do this, that, or third. He wanted us to experience life so we could, be normal. Why are we as preachers' kids put on this pedestal that we can't be human? Is it fair to put that much pressure on us that we have to live up to that reputation and that name? Do we have to? Is it? I know that there's this stereotype that preachers' kids are the worst ones. Do I feel like I live up to that? Well, if you ask my friends, I'm going to let them tell you. But I'm not going to answer that for myself. I really think that sometimes my friends forget that I'm a preacher's kid because I act up so much. But I'm just being me. And I just feel like if I wasn't, I just can't. I just feel like I have to be me. And I don't want to be in a place where I can't be myself. I have to be me all the time. Thank God I have a man, a husband that loves God just as much as my dad. Like, I actually think they are twins when it comes to spirituality, and their mannerisms are so much alike. That is something I had to pray for, because you don't want to compromise on that part of your life. You don't want to compromise. You get older, you embrace the lifestyle of the preacher's kid, as a preacher's daughter. But the crazy thing is, you're still in that circle of pastors' kids, and then you get to a certain age where you're supposed to be married, and they want you to meet them, and they want you to meet him, and they want you to meet them and go out with them, and you're like, no. What I have embraced is being a servant. Now you have more responsibility on how service is operating, and the logistics of service and you start to learn about the business of church. You also get more concerned about your parents aging and now it's time to retire. If something happens to mom and dad of the ministry, pastor, um, who's going to fill in those shoes? I know that I have been called to the ministry, but it is a very big responsibility. Those are some big old shoes to fill. I, as a PK, don't want to feel obligated to fill those shoes. If God has called me to do that, I will just walk right into it. All in all, it's been a blessing. I've got to meet a lot of people. It's a lot of people that know me because of my father and his name. And I appreciate the relationship that I have with him. I'm so blessed to have a relationship with my dad. I talk to him every day. Every day. So I just love him. I love him. And I'm grateful. I love being a PK. That's all I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. I'm so glad you took a moment to stop by, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video.